So there's some great news. Fantastic Four is not nearly as bad as Superman, but actually it's the most insufferable feminist piece of shit you could ever watch.
I'm gay.
I'll do the usual bullcrap. This isn't rage bait. This isn't me overreacting. This isn't me lying to you about the movie. In fact, it's the opposite, because I'm going to tell you what this movie actually was. And spoiler alert, it's the most fucking feminist movie that Hollywood has ever made. Everything that Vanessa Kirby was saying before this came out is the truth. She's the leader, she's the front and center. But we're going to get onto that in a second. Very quickly, if you do want to help out the channel, maybe consider subscribing, supporting me on Twitter or Patreon. So last night I watched Fantastic Four First Steps, the same way I watched Superman, keeping true to the wallet's closed motto. Don't go to the cinema, do not give these people your money. Fantastic Four First Steps is as insufferable as Superman. I still stand by what I said. Superman was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I've seen movies from all different time periods, countries, genres, and a lot that you have not even heard of. So do not come in here and try to attack me. And Fantastic Four is not nearly as bad, I'll tell you the truth, but there is a lot of wokeness, and that cannot be denied. So anybody in the review saying that it isn't woke, do not believe them. It most certainly is. But I can't really be that serious talking about this movie, because even though it is a disgrace to the original comics, Marvel, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, it's also just hilariously cringe. And I don't really give a rat's ass about spoilers, so if you do, then you're miserable and you shouldn't really be watching this video. And for those of you who are ready to witness what Fantastic Four First Steps really was, I salute you, because sometimes it gets so cringe you feel like you're literally about to die. Everything from every Marvel movie that was bad, weird gayness, obnoxious Marvel humor, radical feminism, and then there's The Thing, which I'll get into a second, or maybe I might not, because that rant is something that a lot of people aren't really ready for. So from the opening scene of this movie, you know what it's gonna be. You think it's a superhero movie. It's gonna be like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. No, it opens with Pedro Pascal in a wife beater, walking around looking for his shirt or something. And with the homo Freddie Mercury mustache and the brown skin, he looks like he's walking around looking for his taco or his boyfriend. And all while this is happening, Sue Storm is sitting on the toilet and screaming out like, give me 12 more seconds. And if you thought that she had a bad case of resting bitch face in every single trailer, it just gets worse. I don't know if it's because she's pregnant or something, but she's always in a mood, and Sue Storm is the biggest feminist bitch on the planet. Also, a quick little note about Pedro Pascal in this movie. I don't know what the hell is going on with the continuity, but the guy is changing every single scene. One scene, he looks like he's a 300-pound Mexican gardener who needs to get sent back over the border by ICE. And the next, he's really skinny and weak looking, like some skeleton who didn't get his taco in time. And speaking of that, I know the Fantastic Four are supposed to age when they come back from that first trip, but the footage of the team on the TV before they went up to that first trip is really retarded. So it shows you the footage. Sue has her usual bitch face on. The thing is, they're looking all Jewish, and that's his entire character. That's the rant we're gonna get to in a second, or maybe I might not even talk about it, because it's really extreme, but it's the truth. I know The Thing is a Jewish character, and Jack Kirby was Jewish, and it was intended that way, but this movie amps it up to 11. Every scene with The Thing, he has no personality, he has no love interest or friends or anything. The dude is just some one-dimensional character whose entire personality trait is, hey look, I'm Jewish, walking around a New York neighborhood, and oh wait, look in the background, there's synagogues and Stars of David everywhere. But anyways, we'll move on before that gets a little bit too risky. Johnny shows up in this footage looking really gay with his lipstick and his bleached blonde hair. Flaming gay Johnny Storm is the highlight of this movie, and I mean that in every way. The guy is nearly the only guy that you can root for, and then at the same time he's pulling the most spasticated, handicapped, retard faces in every single scene. No, that's not an over-exaggeration, it's not a joke. This is the first scene of the movie where they're all sitting down to have family dinner. The Thing tastes some sauce or food he's making like a normal person. Johnny then walks into the room, tries to taste it, and instead shoves his 2 fingers into his mouth.
Nice.
And with the face that he pulls here, God knows what else this guy is putting in his mouth. More on him in a second, but the important part that I was trying to get to is that Pedro Pascal still looks like a 90-year-old taco vendor in this footage. He's supposed to have grey hair when he comes back from the trip. Now he just looks like somebody's great-grandfather. The dude refuses to shave off his little gay mustache for every role. He looks nothing like Reed Richards, because Reed Richards is white. and he's some Mexican dude or Chilean or whatever the hell. He's brown. That's all you need to know. And yeah, it would have been a bit more accurate if he shaved his border hopping face, but still, he doesn't look like Reed Richards. I was talking with somebody and they said that David Corn Sweat might have actually been a better Mr. Fantastic. He would have looked a lot more like Reed Richards, and the guy's really nerdy in real life, so he probably would have fitted the role. Instead, we got this homo hombre who's just crying for the entire movie. And I'm not joking. In certain shots, he's really skinny. In other shots, his head is the size of the room. And in other shots, he's wearing eyeliner or something and looking extremely gay. And there's many scenes that are like that throughout the entire movie, where flaming Johnny Storm and Pedro Pascal start hugging each other and grabbing each other by the necks and looking deeply into each other's eyes. I'm just gonna put some screenshots up on the screen right now and just some clips so you can see what I'm talking about.
I take back every single bad thing I've been saying about you. You are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth.
Johnny Storm is so autistic in this movie, it's unbelievable. I heard some reviewers saying that I don't know why Joseph Quinn came out and said that he wasn't a womanizer, because in the movie, the biggest plot point that he is a womanizer, especially for Shala Ball, the fake female Silver Surfer bitch. And she's an entirely different story. For everybody defending the CGI and the casting, just no. Just plain no. The CGI is laughably bad, as you could tell from the trailers. Everybody telling you that this looks amazing is lying. Not to mention that, I'm sorry, Shala Ball, you're a little bit too flat for anybody to tell you're even female that far off. That's just me being honest. You could have gotten a hotter actress to come in and play somebody who's gonna get womanized by Johnny Storm. Instead, it's this short-haired bitch who's as flat as a plank of wood, and also she's extremely annoying. But the weird thing is, after the retarded gay antics of autistic Johnny Storm, the storyline between him and Shala Ball, which isn't really a character, that storyline is the only redeeming quality in the entire movie. But it usually gets ruined by jokes or just plain bad writing, so it's not really worth mentioning. So far I covered Sue's bitch face, Jewish thing, eyeliner Mexican Pedro Pascal who looks nothing like Reed, and then the freaky gay Johnny Storm who had his fingers and everything else in his mouth. But now we're gonna get on to some other stuff, like the setting that everybody was saying worked so well and how awesome it was. I don't know where the hell we are. This movie is extremely inconsistent with the continuity of the actors, with the powers of the Fantastic Four, which by God is the crescendo of the cringe. But we'll get to that. The setting is what I'm talking about now, because what the hell is going on? It's some retro futuristic 60s world. Normal people are in like Blade Runner flying cars. It's all kind of jumbled and we never really get an explanation to where the hell we are. And speaking of not knowing where you are, it doesn't really help when every single person in New York City is not white. There's brown people, there's black people who get a big load of screen time. I don't know how the hell there was that many in New York at this time period. Maybe that's why they needed an alternate universe. But there's 10 times too much wokeness and diversity. That's what this is. We're getting shown little black kids every single second, like we're in Africa. And then the next second, we're getting a scene with the Thing where he's walking into his local synagogue for some reason, and he's in there for like 10 minutes. Now, I don't know, comic fans out there try to update me here, and I mean real comic fans who read the original Stan Lee Jack Kirby stuff. Was the Thing's ethnicity or religion as prevalent in the original comics as it was here? And people are saying that Pedro Pascal acted his ass off, and he most definitely is the leader of the team, which is just not true. Acting your ass off equates to crying over a baby that should not be in this retarded movie. Just like Superman, we came in 2 movies too late. And now onto the final nail in the coffin. There's probably more shit I could call out, but this movie, this is the end of it right here when this scene happened. I'm talking about Sue Storm, which at the start of the movie can go invisible and use a small bit of telekinesis, and by the end of the movie she's Luke Skywalker. That's not a lie. In this obnoxious scene where she has to give birth and is screaming with her bitch plastic surgery face, Johnny tries to come over and help her out, and she just ends up force choking him like Darth Vader. Now I don't know about you, but I've never seen Invisible Woman or or Invisible Girl or whatever the hell she's called do that. Ever. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, because at the end of the movie, Galactus comes to Earth. And yeah, Galactus isn't that bad in this movie. Galactus and the parts with Johnny Storm where he doesn't act gay and retarded are the only good things in the movie. And it's not even that good. If you want what Galactus does in this movie, watch Godzilla -1 or any Godzilla movie for that matter. And they have to devise a big Marvel humor plan to take down Galactus. And all of it goes to crap. And you know what it results in? It results in Sue Storm standing in the middle of the street and using the force on Galactus. And no, not a small little push. With her feminist bitch face, she can just scream at Galactus and literally push the guy over. Yeah, we're talking about Galactus here, the guy who eats planets. Yeah, some ugly feminist can stand in the middle of the road and take him down using her mind powers. Somebody correct me in the comments or whatever. I don't really care if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, and I don't think that Sue Storm should ever do this. What the hell is the scale of your powers? How can you knock over Galactus with one hit? Screw everybody else in the entire Marvel universe and DC universe. Just drop this feminist down into the middle of it and she'll solve any problem. Endgame, she could have used the force and blown away Thanos and gotten the Infinity Gauntlet. She could probably kick Superman's ass. Well, that's not really a big feat nowadays because any dog can just do that. She could probably kick Batman's ass and do the same to Daredevil and Wolverine and maybe even take on Galactus. Oh wait, she just did. And literally in the blink of an eye just took down Galactus like it was nothing. And then she passes out and dies. And everybody is crying and it's this big emotional scene and hold up. What the fuck is Johnny Storm doing with his face? If your wife just died beating Galactus, the god, the planet-eating monster, and you turned around and you just saw some dude pulling this face, I don't know, you throw the hardest punch in your entire life. What are you doing? Go back to the Pride Parade. Your sister just died here and you look like, I don't know, you're ready to go into a gay bar. But the cringe baby that should not be in the movie, little Franklin, comes over and brings her back to life. Why the hell is this baby in the movie? I swear to God. I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence, but it seems that there's some coordinated attack out on origin stories. And yeah, I like it when characters don't have origin stories all the time, but most people nowadays don't know who the hell the Fantastic Four are, and you're just dropping them in the middle of some random weird universe that nobody knows about. And speaking of weird universes, Doctor Doom shows up at the very end in a post-credit scene. It's probably Robert Downey Jr. I don't really care, because it was the most forced thing ever, where Sue Storm walks out of the room for 2 seconds, comes back in, and there's big build-up of music, and it's some dude in a cloak sitting there showing the screen his mask. Like, look everybody, I'm Doctor Doom. Remember that guy? You couldn't have gotten another actor that wasn't just in this universe like 2 minutes ago, starring in like 20 films straight. And God knows what this is leading up to. It's gonna be the Fantastic Four, Ghey, retarded Johnny Storm, feminist bitch Sue Storm, and Jewish Thing running around in an X-Men movie, or Riri Williams, or I don't know who the hell's gonna be in this new Avengers slop. All I know is that there's gonna be a lot of black and gay people everywhere. And screw that, nobody wants to see it. And the Rotten Tomatoes reviews are already out for this, which should not be taken seriously by anybody. They mean literally nothing. It's the same with Superman. People with common sense and real comic book fans don't like these movies. It's impossible to, especially when the movie is not about the Fantastic Four. It's about eyeliner wearing Mexican who is not Reed Richards. It's about the fake womanizer Johnny Storm who has his fingers stuffed in his mouth. It's about the Thing's time in the evening that he spends at his local synagogue. But most importantly, it's about Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, the feminist bitch who looks like a monster because of the amount of plastic surgery. I don't care what anyone tells me, this woman should not be in a movie looking like this. So do not watch this movie, do not spend your money on it, don't take your kids to it, do not expect the revival of the superhero movie. It's the same as Superman, it's just another flop, that's what it is. This is gonna be forgotten about because no one wants to see weird gay Mexican dudes hug other autistic dudes. Sue Storm screaming like she's giving birth for 8 hours straight. People are sick of this, and no matter what anybody tells me, this movie is woke. It's undeniable. It's woke, and it's one of the worst superhero movies to come out. And that should have been the tagline for Fantastic Four First Steps. Welcome to the retarded gay family. So if you agree with anything I said in this video and you saw this movie and saw how terrible it was, do let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you're one of those homos out there who has a problem with anything I just said, go complain to your boyfriend.